Well, it's been almost 2 months since Howard Marks wrote a memo or a newsletter that is widely tracked by investors, by clients of Oaktree Capital, and this was something that a lot of people were anticipating would come by quite quickly, given the fact that the kind of thought that is put into each of these newsletters and the wealth of wisdom that it carries. This time around, it's no different. In fact, it's quite a long letter that he's written to the clients of Oaktree Capital. And in his latest memo, Howard Marks actually walks readers through the unusual characteristics of this year's economy, the impact of the COVID-related monetary as well as fiscal policy actions, including the impact, the ramifications of low interest rates on today's markets, and also what he's talking about is the possible ramifications of the Fed as well as the Treasury's rescue efforts. So what does it all mean for investors who face an environment marked by some of the lowest prospective returns in history? And this is something that he has expounded on in his newsletter. So he's talking about number one, he says that this year's developments are quite different from a normal cycle, and this down cycle cannot be purely cured only through economic stimulus. He believes that the root cause is something that has to be repaired, meaning that the disease has to be brought under control. He explicitly states that trillions of dollars paid out thus far have only been support and not stimulus payments. He also explained his thoughts on low interest rates. He says that the main reason why equity indices have regained the lost ground is in some cases actually gone ahead and made new highs is because of the low level of interest rates. He believes that the low interest rates actually provide a stimulative effort, and he believes that the lower rates are something that bring and increase the discounted present value of future cash flows. He believes that the low risk-free rate also brings about lower demanded returns, and he believes that low interest rates actually help equity markets stay at expanded and higher valuations. He says that there is increased risk tolerance as well as reaching for return, and which is why he believes that the markets are forced to reopen and markets are forced to put the excess money that is there in the economy to use. As far as his entire thoughts on the stock market is concerned, he speaks about the disparity seen in the growth outlook for the spam stocks that he talks about, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft and Google. He believes that the growth outlook for these versus non-tech stocks is something that is huge and expanding, and he actually believes that given the leadership shown by these companies, he believes that this is quite well justified as well. He believes that tech companies have a potential to actually negatively impact some of the non-tech companies, and however, he says that Oaktree so far has moved and operated under the mantra of moving forward but with abundant caution, and he signs off on a very, very cautious note. He says that the odds currently aren't on the investor's side and the market is quite vulnerable to negative surprises. So investors would do quite well to take heed of what this great investor has to say.